Good morning. I am higher vibrations, and so are you. And rarely do I say good morning when I literally just woke up. So, for those of you
Good
who've been
morning to
patiently
you.
waiting, what was that?
Good morning to you.
Thank you. For those of you who've been patiently waiting in the audience, thank you. I don't know what happened. I can say that the energy was really intense last night and buzzy. My daughter's still asleep too.
Hmm.
We've been waking up at like 8:30, 9:30. The latest is how early she's been waking up. And she's still asleep too. I had to go wash the oil out of my
Yeah.
hair. So I had put oil in my hair before I went to bed. So I didn't, I'm just still kind of like in that rush state. So I'm going to just
Yeah,
say
there's
thank you all.
nothing. We're good. We're all good. We're
Yeah.
both good at chatting.
And I'm so excited to have I've been talking with uh Paige for a long time now. It's been a while. I don't remember how long it's been since we've really started to chat, but I feel
I
like
think it
I've
was
known you
December
forever.
19th because that was right after I quit drinking. Yeah.
That was it. It's
Yeah.
only been like 4
Couple
months.
months, 3 months, 4 months. Yeah.
Wow. Well, it's been a fun time to get to know you, and I just kind of want to introduce you. So for those of you who this so Paige is somebody who has a unique and blissful way of looking at things, and the way that she spells helps us to kind of just Charmony will do the same kind of similar thing, and we'll notice that throughout people in the awakening, that when you change the spelling of something, then you can see what it truly means. It's also something that Elsa will do, right? And so, but just the way that Paige talks also brings forward these, oh wait, I didn't realize we used those words for that before. And but one of my favorite topics to talk about are fairies, and the fact that we're going to talk about that today, I'm so
Oh,
excited.
that's so cool. I love it.
So welcome. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
And
Thank you
your
for having
patience.
me. This is funny. This is my second. I was just realizing when I sat down, I mean, I've taught English online. So this is my classroom. So it's for children and business English. That's why, I always have it, the curtains closed um and God, what did you just Oh, so I have this Irish friend. So it's all coming together super naturally. That's funny. I meant like very naturally, but you could say supernaturally. So I have this friend named Miles. He has a YouTube channel. It's called Bases. Um, I think they kicked him off. You know how that's happened with many channels.
Yeah.
So his world is ufology. So he lives in English. He used to be an Irish television broadcast technician, like old school when it was all analog.
Wow.
So he's been interviewing, like, say, early super soldier names. Anybody, I'm not going to remember. Max Spears. Yeah. Like in that era, 10 years ago, he was interviewing all of those folks. And this is sort of how I kind of was tripping into this. I would say my realm became like, hey,
Yeah.
Rose. um, I don't want to personally, I'm not connected to words and energies that are off planet.
Uh-huh.
Many energies that are here, and I like the idea of Middle Earth, and I love the idea of the unseen and the reality of
Yeah.
how plasma is a part of reality, and now we're just starting to talk about it. Like, to me, that's how they pushed the feminine energies down, is they're like, we just won't talk
Yeah.
about her. I'm like, you guys are going to be in so much trouble.
Yeah.
So Miles wanted to interview me, and I'm in between, like the fairies,
Yeah.
in a liminal space. So I was working, teaching online, and I will be doing, I think, more different things. So I can teach, I can have a YouTube channel. I have the podcast, which I'll talk about. But that's the story that I would like to share is like, yes, what fairies are to me and how I didn't even know that I was a fairy until about 2020. So there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love this conversation. I love this Rose Matter says good time to talk about fairies. The elements really come out in the springtime. It's true. And it's in the spring of springs right now. It's not just the spring of the season, but the spring of the time.
It's like mama is going like, I'm coming early. It's like,
yeah.
The sap in the trees. I keep checking the ground for bugs or like weird things. Yeah.
It's fun. It's so much. Have you know? Okay, so we've been communing with the fairies for a little while, and so I just like, I don't know if you know this or you've experienced. There's a different kind of fairy that's present at different times of day.
Oh,
So
sure.
you'll yeah. So the nighttime ones are my favorite because they're the most mischievous.
Yes, I agree. I love going outside at night.
Have you had any experiences with them?
Well, let's see. Of course, now I'm reading the comments too. A sister in the fairy realm. Okay. Have I had experiences? Yes. And this is a good topic. So Mela hosts a group meeting every week, and I think it's available for whomever wants to come. And sometimes there are meditations when it aligns with portal moments, should we just say? And I also want to share my key, like why I capitalize certain letters so it doesn't seem just random to people. But God, it's hard to explain. Okay, like I said, I don't try and commune with the Orions or the Syrians or the Pleiadians. I don't do that. I'm not against it. It's just like, I don't expect you to care about astrology. You don't have to, you know?
Right.
Like we're all different parts and we have different pleasures. And so mostly I talk to the real animals. I engage and they like me and I like them. Rabbits, birds, like I know many different bird songs. Hey, Vegan Vixen. And the birds like me. And that's very exciting because sometimes I feel alone, very alone. Or like right now I'm having a financial challenge, but it's one of those, this is why I say it's not just meditation. We don't need to just, it's whatever brings you into a more expanded feeling that's enjoyable.
Yeah.
It could be a little frustration. Maybe that's fun. But like it's expanded. Maybe because you're like, this is my bubble. It's not your bubble, you know? So it's the feeling, I feel like I embody fairy and I get chills. It's more like I've had a lot of sense experience. Like I just got a chill up my the back of my body. I did have one weird experience, and most people that get to know me, I will say, like, I know you don't want to talk about the aliens. I know you don't like that word either. Beings, we're all beings.
Yes.
And it's not that I don't believe them. There's too much. I just don't want certain things. So when Anna Mehta, like one of our ladies in the group, said, it's 22 inches above your head. And I'm like, there's nothing I can do. And I'm not, like, I wish people would just start to calm down about what it is that we don't understand yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I did have this one experience this last summer. I've been doing, you could call it grid work in my back. There's this big piece of land that's owned by the utility company, the electric company, and I know that we are the real energy.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother topic. So I do these, I send my energy over there and I say like, it's all us, you know. I like walk in the shape of a heart. What do you say, labyrinth? So when winter passes, you can see the yellow grass where I do that all the time.
Awesome.
And there's a part in the middle that I'm pretty sure is a portal. Like it's soil and it does weird stuff. It doesn't grow grass.
Fascinating.
Yeah. And at first, we can talk, happy to talk more about ley lines for sure. But it's kind of like your shape behind you because it has like 5 cells around it. And then I stand in the middle, but it's a messy shape like I like. It's mud.
Yeah.
So one time I was in there this last summer, and for the first time in my life, I saw a shadow being. I hope it was the first and last time. And it wasn't even terrifying, but I've heard people describe them, and here's what I would just say. So the only thing I've seen that is paranormal phenomena, it was 2-dimensional, and I knew it was because I was like, that's weird.
Yeah.
You're dark, but you don't have a shadow. Like, what are you doing? So instead of being afraid at first, yes, fairy ring, exactly, Rose. And I take my shoes off, even with white socks on, you know, even in the winter.
Yeah.
Um, so I wasn't scared at first because my, whatever, the left brain was like, what is that? What are you doing? What is that? But he was also too tall. He was maybe like 7 feet tall-ish. And he had dreads. And he didn't look menacing, but he was standing there not like, I was like, hey, who are you? He didn't move. It's like he couldn't hear me or something. Yeah. So I don't know if, did he come out of the portal and then I was in the portal, which is not, I usually am not right in it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was the only weird thing. And it scared me enough where I ran 2 doors down. It was dusk, so it wasn't quite dark. And I came around and I was so curious. Thankfully, it was gone. I didn't want to interact again, but I got away, safely, but there, that's all.
Interesting. That was the only time you've ever had experiences with something like that?
I mean, I'd have to think not the scene. That was the first time it was like I have lots of feeling sensations and I get information. I don't like to use technology words, so I won't say like downloads. But I get complete packets. I'm comfortable. Brown packets are made of paper. I'm comfortable with that word. Yeah, I get like complete packets. And I'm fascinated in, I guess, what we'd call engineering and structures. So whatever that is my connection.
That makes sense. Yeah. Interesting. I feel like when it has to do with a electromagnetic or electricity, and when it's forced by man, human, the whatever we want to call that word, like I don't think that it's very fair to the male people of this planet to call it man-made, because
right. Sure. Yeah, that's a good point. Because maybe they're not even men. Maybe those are lizards and insectoids and
right. Well, and typically when I say man-made, I'm not just as you've kind of discussed here, it's a context of, if it's man-made, then it's not as beautiful as it is in nature. I mean, like lots of times it's being forced. There's an aggressive energy behind it, so for all of the male embodied audience members at this time, and I just want to let you know that's what I'm where I'm going with, though, is so when we find someone who is a group of people who have started to utilize the energy, the electricity in a forced way, there usually is disruption. And I
Oh,
find
because I'm right by
sometimes,
the utility.
yeah,
Wow, right, yes.
and I find sometimes that an energy that comes through, even the ones that are of higher frequency or above the dimensional frequency that we were residing within or had been, um, lots of times they kind of get distorted or stuck sometimes. It's almost like
Right,
a temporary delay, not a
right, so
trap, but
they're
a
not
delay.
even, like, with you yet. They're, like, phasing in. It's phasal. Yes.
Phasal, I like that word. That's a good
pH.
word.
pH, phasal. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So because of that, I've actually had experiences similar to what you talked about a couple different times around electromagnetic wiring cords, the big, um, what are they called, towers and stuff that you'll
Yeah.
see, in inner cities. You tend to see those closer to these like low population or low economic status
Oh, yeah, for
places
sure. Yeah,
for a
yeah.
reason.
Yeah, I mean, I think there it's this is an interest, like, I chose this apartment. This is one of the oldest buildings in an old Polish neighborhood,
Oh wow.
and it was a church.
That's so cool.
It was, like, the first Polish church, and then, and it's on, like, a history whatever. We have this bridge, this historical bridge, and one of the first wealthy business dudes, he was Austrian, built this and built a house next door for himself. So it was a 3-generation family. So I'm living in that, then that happened. And feels very safe to me. Like
Mm.
super grounding. Nothing creepy has ever. It's been so. I mean, on the beginning of here's another new one. Remember, I said my key. I've got a key.
Yeah.
I call the last 5 years Corvid.
Yeah, I like that.
Does anybody know what Corvid means to others?
I've heard it before. I actually feel like I've heard that word before. I don't know what it means. I've seen you write it that way before.
It's the Latin word for crow.
Oh, okay.
So, like crows, it went all over the world.
I like
And
that.
I don't want to call it what they call it because that's part of my power is like, I know that it's all through spelling. I
Yeah.
know that they're also occultists. So they chose every letter.
Yep. Yeah.
And we could talk about what corona means. It's this. It's our father light. It's thought. It's thought. It's thinking. It's our ability to become,
Yeah.
smarter. So Corvid happened. Wait, why was I talking about?
I got stuck on the crow thing. I don't know. I was like,
Oh, I was
there was
gonna
so
say,
much
I
symbolism
was gonna
there,
say
and
the key. I just wanted to say the key. So the reason I call it Corvid, the reason that works for me, it's like it's always my own little private joke, whatever the word is. Because crows travel in murders.
yeah, that's
And I
right.
feel that's what happened in the last 5 years. We'll just leave that there. But look at that beautiful code language that will completely escape this Latin word that means something rhythms. So,
Right.
like to me, we have to become more clever than the something rhythms because they're only trying to copy us. And if we confuse them, they can't be the copycat.
Right.
So it's going to get really interesting.
And it is spelling, like the casting of spells. Like it's called that for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
There's you'll find it out like in, as we've probably discussed it over and over again, but in the etymology of all these things, if you go into it and you see it's in like the broadcasting,
Look at
that's
that.
that.
Cast the net. Broadcast.
Yeah.
Like,
And
yeah.
it's designed to get you to think a different way and to slow your thinking processes, You know, it's right in their jargon. You can actually look at the National Broadcasting Association's wording, and that's why legalese, the
Yeah, that's all
lawyers.
maritime language for sure.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so if you look into it, there's some true validity to this whole thing. And so choosing to respell, respin, to come up with new ways to say certain things, I'm I'm constantly being corrected. That's not a word. Yeah, it is now.
Clove for the teeth.
Awesome. That is so good. So how do you do? You just how do you make that?
Well, it's tea. This is green tea. Oh my God, it's so huge. It's like good earth tea, rooibos tea, Indian spice, ginger, orange peels. Like,
Oh wow.
you know, as a non-drinker, everything I drink has to be like very exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. That's got some. Yeah. And you just toss some
Toss some
whole cloves in
clove
there.
right in there. Or like if you're making tea, it's funny, clove will make you sick. Certain people, it's kind of like roses, it's very heady. But for me, I know the level of repair that our bodies need. So I'm just like, bring it, baby.
Right.
Give me that clove.
Right. Our bodies need it right now for sure. Require it. What is like this is kind of fun just because you brought this up. I hope that we're not
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
darting around too many different directions, but um we'll find that what most of us need or require has to do with something that's been missing in our nutrients throughout however many years,
Mm-hmm,
sometimes a
mm-hmm.
lifetime. And we've been using the reserves that we already have within us, and then it just kind of like has now been depleted. So our bodies are like, okay, dude, you know, we need some of that, even though you're like, well, I don't like that thing.
Yes, exactly. You know, it's funny when I was young. So I love that your daughter's a Virgo because Virgos were very choosy. And sometimes I can be way more open minded than most people, but I'll still be able to say yes, 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 no. Like, even if I just saw the thing only 3 seconds ago.
Mm,
So I was on that spectrum of get boring healthy. Like, you can go macrobiotic and just live on spinach and brown rice.
right.
There's this whole Japanese movement, and the French absolutely love it. And it's basically a way to alkalize your diet, macrobiotics. And it was founded by this guy, I think George Osawa, and his wife. It was very cool. I get super into iconic people because otherwise that would be boring to eat very, very well. It would be boring unless the people were interesting. But this is kind of fascinating. So the French became obsessed with what did I just call that? Macrobiotics,
Uh-huh.
because they have like the most diverse, like luxurious, you know, they're eating like goose livers and pig fat and
Right.
drinking wine all the time. So it behooves them to do this like extreme, just eat rice. And so when I was younger, I've had these phases where I would eat basic just medicinally.
Huh.
And you can get thin very fast. Like half the body types in the world could get thin very fast. But it was boring. And so, you know, we live on a sine wave. Like you try the extreme thing and then you go the other way.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, you know, a version of vegan, vegetarian, blah, blah, blah. And I'm still by nature, I'm just nearly vegetarian. But it has to be exciting. And
Yeah.
sometimes for me, the like subtle difference in taste of black beans is exciting. Like, so other people find it boring. And I think, no, there's a way it can be exciting. And that's one of those, you don't have to see a supernatural being. You can become completely intuitive about nutrients and nature.
Oh yeah. And that this, a lot of us at first anyway, for me, that was the case. I had lost my connection with my body. My conversation point was, or I wasn't able to commune with my body. And because I ignored my body, I ignored her for a lot of years. And then when I started to listen, I realized there's a difference between an addiction and a craving
Yeah, for sure.
when it comes to food. And we don't always know the difference at
No.
first.
And
Like,
Western people, like one reason I've never felt human, like I'm part human and part fae, for sure, is because why do humans reduce everything? I'm like, why do you do that? Before even the New Age movement was talking about multidimensionality, it's just, you're just reducing everything. And so that's why it gets boring.
yeah, exactly. And by reducing it, they then people tend to feel like they're required then to add additives and preservatives, and
Right.
because now you've taken away its
Sugar
natural
and chili
component.
sauce or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so sugar is a really good example here. I have found for myself, now I'm not saying that's true for everybody, but I found that whenever my body wants sugar, that's an addictive response.
Mhm.
When my body wants, say, spinach leaf, that's something that my body actually requires about twice a week. And I'll get a craving sensation for it. It feels very different. And this is the way you can first learn to tell. This is something that's kind of useful. This is how I figured it out at the beginning. Usually it's not until after I've taken it in my body that I would notice it at first. And that is, there's a different kind of satisfaction. Like there's one type of like being full, and then there's a different type where your body's like, that's exactly what I needed. You don't need to be full to have
Yeah.
all of the
No.
vitamins you need.
No, it's funny. Arnold Schwarzenegger, these strange people who end up in our country. He would say a meal should, and whatever big, huge weightlifting, even before, but I think he actually came over here as a bodybuilder. He did. And he went
Yeah,
to
he
the
did.
University of Wisconsin, which is right by
Yeah, he was Mr. Olympus,
something. Yeah, some bodybuilder thing. But he
Mr.
would say,
World.
I love when anybody has like really good, memorable advice. And he would say, we are not supposed to have more than this much food, a fist. Never. And I'm like, that makes sense. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
if you stuff a bag bigger, then it's heavy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Odin, crows. Okay, cool. Interesting. Apollo in Greek. Yeah. I mean, one thing I would love to do on my channel is look at all the stories, all the folk stories are fairy, folk, it's the same thing.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, what the occultists, the dark occultists, I call them the controllers, just to keep it simple. They know the stories, but they're trying to use the stories fourth dimensionally for the symbols to control us. But once we know the stories, then it helps us remember like what we were when we were more interesting, really.
Right?
Yeah.
It's true though. It's so true. We have, and there's symbol that's why it's code. That's why we call it code. It's like it inspires your inner knowing.
Huh. Crow got turned black, burned black. Yeah, I'm sure. Well, in every story, this is why these stories are so cool. And this is why, so this is another thing that happened in 2020. So I could tell you many experiences, but most of them are not visual. How about this?
Ooh, I like that.
I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful. I sat up in bed. It was like 4 something in the morning. And a voice said, you got to start a podcast.
Yep.
Like,
That's how it goes.
what? you know? And once again, like thankfully, I'm always super open-minded when the experience, like in those first 3 seconds or whatever, like, who are you? What is going on? And I thought, what would I do a podcast about? And it was 2020, and I was already just like sufficiently annoyed at the lies and lies come marching in by 2, by 4.
Right.
The lies and lies come marching in by 29. This lie and that lie and another lie and a lie and a lie. Ah, the ants. Here we go. The ants.
Yep, that's the ants. I was thinking that. I'm like, oh, Elsa's done. Dude.
I get very annoyed. And part of that is like Virgos are ruled by our nervous system. So I definitely like feel those feelings more electrically than many people. And Moon in Aquarius, that's lightning. So I don't know what, so I found, and this was that window of time where we had some luxury in our lives because you'd get like stay at home, go back to work, stay at home. So there were weeks where it doesn't matter. The whole world was staying home.
Right.
I was like, there's something really cool about this.
Right. Yep. My life stayed the same, really. I mean,
Yeah, like, because when I got angry about what it could be, that's a different mental space. But sometimes I would just be like, I'm the only bike outside.
yeah, it was like a ghost town out there. We were homeless during the main part of the lockdown. As we walked around, it was like,
yeah,
everything was closed. There was no people, like not even driving. There's like hardly any cars at all.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You wouldn't even see flight traffic. There were no chemtrails for a few months.
Yeah.
What? I was like, this is amazing. Anyway.
Like the last people on the planet is kind of what it felt like.
So this was November. It was in November 22nd, 2020. This voice. Yeah. And so to sleep at night, I realized that I enjoy sleep stories, which is a lot like fairy tales, isn't it?
Yeah.
I always wish like boyfriends would read to me. I would try and share my dreams. One time a boyfriend said, like, can you just quit talking about your dreams? I was like, oh my God, I am not human for sure. So I listened to this. So if anybody enjoys sleep stories, there's this really amazing YouTube channel called Scary Fairy Godmother. And she's Canadian. She's got this gorgeous voice. She's a writer. She wrote a fairy ghost story. She promotes it on her channel. But she reads, this is such a brilliant idea. So there's lots of real fae experiences that people have. And younger people know sites like Reddit. There are places where, like, kind of chat boards where you can post your musings. And they're not copywritten or anything. And they would love it if you would read their story.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's brilliant. That's what I'm talking about. The humans need to start finding the stuff beyond copyright, like the real stuff together, like we're doing now.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Wisconsin. Yes. And so she was reading a story. Oh, I think her introduction, like super good production value. She uses like, I don't want to cutify the fairies. I want to convey their intelligence, fierceness, musicality. Just like there's so much. And she does that. And I'm getting chills. One of the things she said is, fairies are real. And I was like, oh my God, fairies are real. So I was like, okay, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I've got the title, I've got the name. And then I knew that I don't want to spell, I owned a business for 9 years, and you don't want to spell it like other people do for a couple of reasons. The website's taken. Are you kidding me? For every spelling of pHaerie, it's taken.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And there's so many pHaerie things that I have no interest in. But the PH, I was like, oh, I'll just spell it with PH. That's what I do with everything.
That's cool. That means balance too, right?
But exactly right. Yeah. I used it in my business name too, because skincare. Yeah. Right. So anything with PH, philosophy, phenomena,
Yeah.
the phonetics.
That's my give it birth initials too. PH.
I think I've seen that modern phrase. Wait, what did you just say? PH?
That's my given name is Pamela Hard. PH.
Oh, right. So you are PH. You're PH. Me too. I'm
Yeah.
Paige Harrington.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was my nickname as a kid. PH. PH. I was like, this is perfect. I got to use this.
Yeah, that's awesome. And all you got to do is just add that little bit of a change to it, and it becomes yours. Like
Yes.
you take or different than that is it becomes ours instead of
Yes,
connected
exactly.
or
Very,
controlled.
very well put. Becomes ours. We take it back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is the thing. I don't know if you know, every single naughty word is Gaelic, mostly. Like, pick, puck, fluck,
Right.
flew, hard, dick. Hey, dick, what's up? All those words. Those are all Gaelic words. So, and my dad, Power Pie, I love it. Awesome. Um, let's see. My dad is Irish and German, and then my mom is Scottish and Welsh. And so there's all this wordplay through my dad, and he's very musical, plays the piano, he's incredible. And then my mom is like super fierce, like empress energy, like this, we don't know much about Scottish and Welsh.
Right.
But she's got like this weird regal, I just want to be like, Mom, relax. But that's the Irish fairy. That's a different one.
Yeah. The Irish fairy stuff is I like the Irish stories because they're one of the places that didn't get like
Well,
destroyed by the cruising Christian crusades. Like the reason I got the reason for that is because at the time, this is spirit telling me this, at the time, the people lived like hobbits, like they had earthen homes.
absolutely.
And
Yeah.
so the people in the ships in the Christian crusades, that what they were doing is they were destroying anything that was in conflict to their own narrative. And
Mounds.
so like artifacts and all kinds of
Right.
stuff. But as they cruised by Ireland, it looked unpopulated, so they kept going. That's
Ooh,
what
I
spirit
love
told
it.
me, because they were like
Nature's
warped
bunkers,
into.
baby. Nature's bunkers.
Yeah, and that's how so just because you find it, you don't have to take it all the way for, like it's a legend or a story that's lasted. And so, but then you're gonna find fear thrown into it, right?
Well, and
So
there's
to
really
figure out.
interesting, very interesting. So when I quit drinking and chose to quit teaching and therefore am unemployed, I kind of put myself in a risk space on the 3D level. People don't like that. You're supposed to like have money and I'm just so sick of it. I'm just so sick of it.
Yeah.
But my dad said, "Sweetheart, you need to come to Earth now, right?" And he's like, you can do that later. And I was like, Dad, I'm going to do both. And that just came falling right out of my mouth. And I think, so I'm not sure what the future steps are. And of course, my mom wants me to be employed through Indeed hourly work opportunities, which, that I'm like just now, as of last week, I'm ready to do that. But I was in like pain and detoxing from like,
Yeah.
I drank for years. So I needed to sleep. I've been going to sleep at 7 or 8 and waking up at 8 or 9. Like I've been sleeping a lot.
Recovery.
Yeah, real recovery. So, and that's what I want. Like some people would say, well, you quit drinking, whatever, to impress people or get the next job. Or I'm like, no. I quit drinking to like try and find a new way.
Yeah.
Island. Yeah, the ones who knew. Oh, I know what I was going to say too. So there are all these stories about, this is where we get the whole Middle Earth. So when the Tuatadanan, I think it's the Tuatadanan. So these magical, mystical Scotland's, yes, Skoda, right. Skoda was the daughter of the Egyptian king.
Right.
So yeah, like Scotland has this there's so much. We just need
Nova Scotia.
Yeah, we just, yes.
French wing.
Right. And of course, like the occultists know all this stuff because they made all the language. But so something about, so the Tuatadanan came from like what we would call, they were kind of like hanging out with the Greeks. And did they leave for tax reason? Did they get banished? Something happened where they left and they came to Ireland, and these earthy people were already there. And I think they're called the Milesians. I've started learning this story because my Irish friend's name is Miles. And I'm like, Miles? Milesian. He's an Aries too. Yeah.
No, that makes so much sense. That feels like a very Aryan name, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Aryan name. I mean.
Oh yeah, he was like you could say a warrior king. He's like, well, my people say I was the king, and I'm like, okay, Miles, whatever. But I'm telling you, like maybe we're so.
I'm all the way Aries.
yeah, all in. So, and Miles loves that I want to talk about this stuff, and I just can't talk about it with, like, my parents think I'm being childish or something. And I'm like, no, you guys, how about I'm honoring our lineage more than you ever have? That's all.
You got somebody listening in from Ireland
Love
right
from
now.
Ireland. Where in Ireland? Phaerie? How do you say that name? Phaerie?
Melissa?
Her last name is a tricky one. Phaerie? Phaerie.
Lily? I don't know.
Phaerie. Yeah. Hello to Ireland. We love you.
There's, I want to circle back if that's okay, because there's a lot of connection with Crow, Raven, and Fae. Like they belong together in a lot of the stories that we tell. And I'm not going to bore you by reading all of it, but I want to. I brought out the book.
Yeah. Oh, good. I love it. I love reading.
Medicine cards.
Oh, okay.
And this,
awesome. Let's do it.
So you guys see how beat up it is. It's my cards don't look like this. I use the book more than the cards because the animals come to us. They are wise beings that come to us. And first let's just read the quick poem it kind of gives you a gist of what it is. Crow, are you cawing so I may know the secrets of balance within my soul? Or are you sending your sacred caw just to remind me of universal laws? And it's about balance. Law, and not the way we look at law. It's got nothing to do with courts.
Lore. It's lore. In all the root languages, it's lore. L-O-R-E. O-R. The reason I capitalize O-R every time, like if I was writing from, you'd see that cap. You'd see that capped.
Right.
Originals, because we, W-E-E, like P, which is sacred, and medicine. Talk more about that. Hard to commit to a steady schedule. Yeah.
That's what we're doing today, man.
We're just here. We're here now. Yeah. So that's another thing is I think in this journey where I went from, that's a different life. I left my old self back in 2024.
Yeah.
I timeline jumped big time.
Yeah.
And think of if you want to do something, but you don't do it, Clover Day, recovery. Oh, cool. Reclover. I'm reclovering.
Yes. I love that.
And there's love in it.
Yes.
Reclovering. Oh my God. I got to use that. Thanks, Elsa.
Yay. Oh,
Um,
you say it Wicklow.
oh, her last name, Wicklow. See what I'm saying? I knew it. I knew
Oh,
it was
no. I
gonna be.
think that's probably the answer to where is she at in Ireland.
Oh, Wicklow,
Probably.
Ireland. Okay. Yeah, I wish I knew. I don't know a lot. I know Cork. I think my people are from Cork, super south.
Cool. Oh, here's the way to say it. Herlihy.
Lay, Herlehi. Okay, cool. I love it. Like, for example, they say the she is spelled Sidhe. So she's in there, and the she are the fae. That's another word for them.
Right.
But I do the double E. Me, we, she, he. It's all us. I do USS. It's us. It's us. Yeah. And so we, the people, are the true guardians, not the all the other beings that supposedly have, like, we're the guardians because Mama made us.
Right. Right. There's so much to that. You said a lot. That I love that you do that, and I've been doing it too. Though
Yeah,
I find
it's a good thing to do just creatively, just to let yourself make it. It's like birthing your own language. Yeah.
right. So I dual majored, and my other major was English with a teaching emphasis, and so that one does get in my way. Like I'm learning to write in slang, and not freak out about it.
Dude,
And freak
I'm an
out's not the word, but it's
ESL
hard.
teacher. So I would have to remember, I'd be teaching online, and I'm like, it really is that this is how we're multidimensional. You can be totally different, super related beings, but if I spell that way in a string with my family, they get annoyed.
Yeah.
So I don't do it with them.
Right. Yeah. Elsa's like the book. Whenever I pull this out, there's like, oh,
The
the book.
book.
You have a book too.
I
Sorry.
have a book. Yeah. Where did I put
Fairy
it?
book?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the fairy book. History of the Irish Fairies. Carolyn White. I wonder if that, our Irish visitor, look at these cute, they're like kind of ghosts and they're little dancing. And then there's a scary one that's big. Yeah. So Carolyn White, this is cool. This was published in like 76. I like the books that have old writing. Like it's a little bit formal. So I could say what fairy names are all over the world. I could do different things if you want.
Well, I mean, whatever you like. We're probably only going to talk for about another 12 minutes or so.
Okay,
Then,
12 minutes.
or
Let's
less.
see. So 12
Because I
minutes.
have a group starting at 4:30, which is just
right.
a little over an hour from now, and I should probably wake my daughter up.
Yeah, for sure.
She's still asleep. I still haven't heard
I
her.
get you. Well, I would say, so this is what I was trying to say. Folk of the She, Hillock, and Mound. This is what I'm talking about. The she, right? She.
Yes.
Sidhe. So I've always loved this. I've loved this. Like the old English has extra vowels on it. And I'm always like, what are you doing there? When did you drop? Or like Secret of Roninish. Wow, amazing, incredible, incredible. Yeah. Oh, I should write a Fae list of movies. Because there's like for children, The Secret of the Roninish is the family-friendly version of this other kind of dark story that I love. And the main female character is a Silky.
Ooh.
And it involves like drug running and like she got dumped deep in the ocean. It's super cool. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I think I won't read because we only have a few more minutes, but I think this is part of our, so I think any natural born human is Fae, from my perspective.
Yes.
That just means you're a root being, you're a root person. Oh, the main way that I have experiences is dreams. So they are visual, but they're, yeah. Yeah.
I didn't mean for you to stop. You can keep talking. I just want to grab a book really fast. I want to show a cover.
Oh, cool, 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 cool,
Please,
cool.
please, please keep going.
What was I just saying? The main, oh, I'm not going to look at the book. Oh, right. Everybody is Fae, essentially. So for me, this is my way of taking back. It's great. It's great that we can have all these connections to other beings that you can't necessarily confirm with your neighbor, right? Like you can talk about Sandalphon, but I haven't had that Sandalphon experience. You could explain it, but group on Telegram.
That's right. That's so also calls it the Telegram group because it's usually posted in Telegram, I think. So that is the group that I'm talking about. We are doing it in an hour.
Oh, right. That group. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Root. What is
When
that?
the root children wake up.
Root children. What?
You
What is
said
that?
it. And so I'm like, I got to grab that book. Here's a better cover. Or you can say,
Root children wake up. Oh my God, that's amazing. I love it.
It's about these fairy kids that Mother Earth, that's Mother Earth waking
Oh my
waking
gosh.
them up.
I love it. I love it.
Anyway, it's a really amazing book. And it talks about the cycles, and there's Uncle Summer and there's Aunt Spring, and it's like the children, as they wake up from their long winter's nap, they color the bugs, they paint them. And it's just, we're the root children. That's why this book is important.
Yeah.
Like we had to leave this behind when we moved, and
yes,
we had to buy it again.
So maybe this is why, back to the Virgo annoyance, like very specific brand. I can't tell you how many times I've heard myself say, that's annoying. So many times. But I think what we could use all these words. We could say something like oversoul, but the greater self gets annoyed. I don't think it's me. Actually, I don't think it's my nervous system or my ego. I get annoyed because the part of me is like, that's great, the Syrian beings, that's wonderful, but like you guys you're acting like we're at a costume party together and you're forgetting about the mother, and that's what we came out of. And so that's where the focus needs to be. And maybe there's all kinds of pieces. I would love to talk about Atlantis. Like I have things with crystals, and I love the idea that we live in the, what do you call those, where like it's the canals that are, oh my gosh, and they're like copper in the channel water. Like I fucking love all of that shit. But first, let's go back through the earth. Yeah. So root, R-O-R-O-O-R. Or what is ore? Ore is the mind elements, iron ore, whatever, gold, silver, ore. In French, they say d'or, right?
Yeah.
A door.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
D'-O-R is of gold. We're
wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So I think just find your charged letters and just start throwing them everywhere. And that's how we draw up our luck. Because I don't know what this whole manifestation thing is. I don't get it. All the young people are posting everything, and I'm just like, I do want to talk about it, like if we do another show or in our groups, because I think I'm learning. Pardon me?
I would love to have you on again. I was just remarking. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, because first dimension, second dimension, third dimension is the first thing that has, right, 360 degrees. But what if manifestation comes from the hyperspace. The reason God is thoth is thought is, of course, it starts in the ethers.
Yeah.
But it starts in the ethers, but there's plasma in the ground and the ocean and space.
Right.
And that's why they were like, shh, don't talk about plasma.
Right. Right. And when you hear that, that's usually when I'm, don't tell me what to do. Like I'm gonna start talking about that all the time.
That's the anger I was trying to express the other day. It's not some dark ancestral portal that's trying to keep me angry. No. It's me for sure. It's greater me going like, I am like, Todd Medina will say, I'm sick and tired of this show. I'm sick of it. And I'm like, you know what? I get it. Sometimes I'm really sick and tired of it because there's something in me that's just too, gosh, is it stubborn? There's something in me that's very fierce. I don't want to come around and start playing by 4D, 3D rules at this point. So,
yeah.
It's frustrating.
It is.
Can be.
And energetically, there's a whole thing
Rose,
about that.
R-O, yeah.
Yeah, you can go in a whole circle about that when it comes to like being stuck in a rut or routine, like doing the same thing. I don't like routine. I break away from routine as much as
R-O, routine.
Right. In fact, even though she's a Virgo, she very much thrives on like sporadicness when it comes to scholastic things.
Well, I would say the root and the routine, they can sound the same and lead you to, the routine is, I want to walk in that dirt. I want to brush my teeth, whatever, the thing that you want to do right now, even though it's the same. But when you don't, that's the root. That's like, oh, what's over there? You know what I mean?
Right. That's the Roo of remember Kenya and Roo, Winnie the Pooh?
Okay. It's the root.
He's the child that wants to play and dance and bounce and be like Tigger and jump a tree. And yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I just realized I did kind of get going. Speaking of my daughter, even though we haven't been on for a full hour. It's almost been an hour. We just started later than I have to go wake her up and do the. I don't know about anybody else.
Were you dreaming or do you not remember?
I was dreaming. I just don't have. There was a lot that came in last night. It was a very busy night last night. It's just that.
Well, maybe we can hear more about that in the group. But
yeah,
I feel like if we all start sharing dreams, it's just like it's this thing. Of course, the greater self knows what it is, but you don't get to know. Like I think the plasma is very flirtatious. Mm-hmm. And it can be terrifying because you don't get to know.
Yeah.
Like that's what universe is saying to me. I'll be like, I know, but I just want like, no.
Yeah. Just, I got to comment on what Joshua just because this goes with what's happened with the reason that root children is on my thoughts anyway. And then you brought up earlier and research got me going. Root. That this is what we just did in meditation yesterday. And I posted that in the Telegram group for anyone who's interested. It's free, but it found all of these aspects and we reintegrated. So we did 2 meditations. One on Sunday was inner child reintegration of the inner child, and then this meditation was all sacral chakra stuff. And it was all this root area. We didn't realize how much root chakra means the red one that's underneath the sacral chakra.
But I think they're totally.
I know
more like this. It's kind of like we're getting that high heart now. Yeah, for sure. I feel that. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an Irish girl, Sarah pHaerie.
Yeah. I would stay longer. I got to get going.
No. Go
And
wake
thank
your
you.
beloved little lovely. Oh, I loved her video, by the way. That was awesome.
Thank you.
I want to hear
If
about that.
anybody does see that, by the way, yeah, I put it out in the community section of this YouTube channel, as well as I put it on Facebook. I put it on Telegram because I'm so proud of her. She did a really cute video. If anyone gets a chance to check it out, there's
Through
links all
on
over the place.
Canva? Like, how did she make that?
She has it's like Flicka clip or something like that.
Cool. Clip
A little
art.
app
I
on
love
a
it. I
tablet.
love it. Yeah. All right, my friend. Well, you wake your daughter and I'll see you soon. That was very fun. Thank you for having me. Oh,
Thank you.
Fairies Are Real. It's just like the name. My name was like on the screen. I don't know. But it's on Spotify and it's spelled just like that. It's one word. I've been doing it for 5 years. And maybe you want to start with the marvelous Maori dream. But there's plenty of content on there. But I haven't posted for a couple months, so I'll do it soon.
Awesome. Wonderful. Yeah, please find Paige through this link. She's really a fun energy to connect with. And I got to do a quick announcement before I go, is that we are going to meet now a little less than an hour from now, and if you're interested in coming and joining us for that chat, you can find the links to that in both Telegram and on my YouTube channel in the community section. It is free, and it's a beautiful, loving space for everybody to connect in. And also, the last thing I'm going to announce is that we're doing a very uncommon show on Friday as well. We're bringing in Guardian that day. You might have seen the link already up. That is for the special day that's happening that day. There's a lot of energies, and so Guardian wanted to come in and share in this space with those all, because there's going to be a lot of energy happening. We got a solar shockwave coming that should be making impact at that time. That's the lunar eclipse, the worm moon. That's Pi Day. That's the Y Norman meteor shower. There's a lot going on all in that 24-hour window of time. So look for that. We'll be starting the time that this show normally starts, not late. And so thank you so much for understanding, by the way, once again, for being so patient for my delay. And
time is timeless. There's only 2 R's in Fairies Are Real. It makes sense if you sound it out. All right, my friend. Much love. You're the greatest. And I'll see you soon, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.